Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. I'm Nick. Today I'm talking about the recently released deluxe editions of two classic Alice Cooper albums, Killer and School's Out. There's a bunch of links down below. Make sure you go check them out. There's links for the Vinyl Den Facebook group, for the merch page, for the Spotify and Apple Music playlist we put together every week, and the Patreon page. Make sure you go check all that out. Of course, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I release new episodes. So right off the top, I want to say I'm a huge fan of the Alice Cooper band stuff from the 70s. I wasn't Pretty's for You and Easy Action. They're okay albums, but really from Love It to Death all the way through, even Alice's first solo album, Welcome to My Nightmare, that 6-album stretch is absolutely unbelievable. So whenever they release anything from that stretch, of course I'm going to be interested in it. So they released these two 50th anniversary deluxe editions, even though Killer has been 52 years and School's Out's been 51 years. You know, I was definitely interested in seeing these. Hopefully they'll continue on with these deluxe editions. I'd love to see them even go back and do Love It to Death. And Billion Dollar Babies is my favorite Alice Cooper album. So this being the 50th anniversary, I was kind of hoping to see something this year. Maybe we'll see something next year. I'd love to see that happen, though. So you might be thinking the same thing I was thinking when these were announced. How are these any different than what Rhino has reissued in the past, Friday Music has reissued in the past? Friday Music actually just did, within the last year or two, both of these albums, they reissued with the original packaging. So School's Out had the fold-out desk. Killer had the 1971 poster or calendar that was included in it. So really, how are these any different from those pressings? And so these deluxe editions come with live material. They come with some studio outtakes, some different stuff that you wouldn't get on a standard release. And I was really kind of happy to see these not priced over $100, because that's where a lot of those single album deluxe or super deluxe sets really kind of lose me. And I think that's why the Metallica, not Metallica, but the Black Sabbath box sets that they've released over the last couple of years have sold really well, because they've been affordable at right around $100. I think the last time I was on Amazon, these are both listed for right around $80 if you're interested in getting copies of these. I know they were a little more expensive at my local record stores, but not. They were still under $100 each. So I thought, like I said, for what you're getting with these are both 3 LP sets. I think it's a good price. They're not super expensive. So I'm going to open these up one at a time. The first one, this is Killer. Like I said, it says 50th anniversary. I know it was released 52 years ago from 1971. So what this says on here, it says the original album remastered, so these are both newly remastered, plus a previously unreleased live 1972 show and unreleased alternate tracks. It says in a recreation of the calendar included in original packaging. So I'll show you the hype sticker if my camera will focus in on it there. So it's like I said, the front and the back, the same cover and back cover that you get on the standard album. I'll open these up real quick here. So the biggest difference packaging wise is the original album is just a gatefold jacket. Because this is a 3 LP set, it's got to be in a trifold. So the packaging is a little different than what you would get in the original. It's got some liner notes on the inside of the jacket there as you fold it out here. If I can get my finger in there. As you can see, there's a whole lot of liner notes and stuff on here. A lot of really cool stuff I'm sure I'll go over and check out. And I guess it is worth noting that these are in paper sleeves. One thing I always complain about pretty much with any set, any album, deluxe edition or whatever that comes out over the last couple of years is don't be cheap. At least use polyline sleeves, but I feel like I'm beating a dead horse at this point. And then here's that fold-out calendar that came with the original album. And then according to the liner notes, so the concert is a live show from April 2nd, 1972 in Puerto Rico. And then the studio extra tracks that are included on here are an alternate version of You Drive Me Nervous, an alternate version of Under My Wheels, and then an alternate version of Dead Babies, which is one of my favorite Alice Cooper songs of all time. But all 3 of those tracks, like I said, I'm interested in checking those out. I'm interested in checking out that live show also. And then the discs themselves, all on black wax there. Nice Warner Records label on there. So that's side 1 and side 2. So that's just the standard, the new remaster of the standard album. And then you got side 3 and side 4 is the live show from 1972. And then it looks like side 5 is the continuation of the live show. And then side 6 is the last song from that live show. And then the 3 alternate tracks. So before I get to School's Out, I know a lot of people out there are probably like me. I'm not the biggest fan of live material, and that's why sometimes it's hard for me to want to go out and pick up these deluxe editions or super deluxe editions, just because I know I'm probably not going to listen to live material very often. I will say that Alice Cooper, his live albums are absolutely fantastic. The $1 Billion Babies live that they released for Record Store Day a couple years ago is a great live album. I'm not a big fan of the album Special Forces, but the live album they released last year for Record Store Day, I love that one also. So I can't wait to check out these live albums. I'm sure they're going to be just as great. So School's Out's been one of those albums I've loved since I was a kid. I used to listen to, I think my mom had a copy of this on vinyl that I would listen to all the time. And it's, ever since I was probably about 10 or 11 years old, maybe the first time I heard this album all the way through, and I loved it since then. So, of course, I was interested in picking this one up. So the hype sticker on this one says it's the original album remastered, so it's a new remaster of the album, plus a previously unreleased live 1972 show and studio extras. This is kind of where I have an issue with this release, as it says it pays homage to the original packaging, including the legendary panties. So I thought this was going to be the fold-out desk, which I can already tell that it's not. This is just a printed back page, and I get it. This is a trifold, same as with Killer, so maybe the weight you wouldn't be able to fold out and stand it up like the desk. But I think they should have at least included that in this release. So this still has the fold-out desk, which just like the original album, opens it up that way. And like I said, there's no reason that they couldn't have included the fold-out legs on the bottom of the desk. I guess if that's my only complaint, it's really kind of minor. But if you're going to do this packaging, and especially with such kind of iconic packaging as this album was, I think they should have at least included that. I will say this is different from the Killer album, because Killer is a trifold. This one actually is like the new Van Halen live album that came out for Record Store Day. This is like almost flips out like a book. So you got that's how the packaging is on that one, full of different liner notes that I'm sure would be pretty cool to check out. But I guess my big thing is like, if you're gonna do this packaging with this album, do it all the way. Don't kind of skimp out on the back cover. So the live album that's included with School's Out is live from Miami, Florida, May 27th, 1972. Looks like it's a great lineup for this album. It's actually, that concert was just before they went into the studio to record the album. And then the studio extras on here are the single version of School's Out, the single version of Gutter Cats vs. Jets, which I'm not a fan of that version at all, because the single version cuts out pretty much the entire section of the Jets from that song, which the album version is much better if you want to go back and check that out. So you got that single version, then you've got the alternate version of Alma Mater, which is a great track on the album, and then an early take of Elected, which ended up being on $1 Billion Babies and is one of my favorite tracks on that album. So on to the albums themselves. It's same thing. It's all on black vinyl. You got side 3 and side 4, and these there's no scuffing or anything on these. They are pretty dirty though, so like I said, with Killer, I'll have to clean those up. And then the live concert ends on side 5, and then side 6 are all your studio extras. So disc 1. Disc 1 is the newly remastered version of School's Out, which I'm really interested to check out and compare with older versions of the album I have. And they tried to recreate the inner packaging from the original release. It's got the panties. So the panties that came with the original version were paper, and they were a fire hazard. That's why they had to remove them from the packaging. So this new one, this is like a really like, I guess, like a lace material, which I prefer. They should have done it for the same kind of panties that Friday Music did in the release when they reissued this. I think it was last year that they did. And then, of course, it's just in the same kind of poly bag that the original album was in. So you get side 1 and then side 2. So this is the Friday Music version that came out a year or two back that fully recreated the original packaging. So you've got the fold open like the new one does. But this is what I was talking about on the back, where you've got the fold out legs for the desk, which no one's going to use. But I think just for, if they're going to recreate that packaging, they should kind of fully recreate it. And also with the as far as the panties go, the ones that Friday Music did, they're still kind of paper-ish. They're not as lacy as the new ones are, and I think that maybe that's kind of a better or a closer resemblance to the original packaging. And trust me, I never thought I would spend that much time talking about panties on this show, but all that together kind of is why the packaging for Schools Out is so iconic. Even 50 plus years later, it's those little things that I understand it's about the music. It's more about the live stuff that's included in the studio outtakes and things like that really kind of matter with it. But if you're going to do a release, a 50th anniversary release to really kind of pay homage to how special that album was when it first came out, do it all the way. Do it all the way and do it as the best way possible, I guess. Well, that's all I got for today, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. Make sure you drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of this. Are you interested in picking up these Alice Cooper Deluxe versions? I would love to see them continue on and at least do Billion Dollar Babies, Muscle of Love, maybe even go back and do Love It to Death. I love all those albums. Even move forward and do the first couple of solo releases from Alice. It was, I think, that like 6 or 7 album stretch in the 70s is one of the greatest album stretches in music history. A bunch of really great stuff that came out, and I'd love to see them all get this kind of treatment. But let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me the old thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below. And that's all I got. Until next time, keep on spinning. Peace.